There's only me here. Because I must get them here.
Oh, perfect.
And it must show me who else turns out, but you're not there. Do you want a mouse? There's a mouse in the bag if you want a mouse.
Oh, no, she's all good.
There you go.
Still not working. No. Should I try it on my phone?
Why did it work the other day?
I don't know. Try it on here and see what it does. Okay, it's working on my phone.
Should we just...
You look really concerned.
I'm panicking. It's not working.
So
yeah,
obviously,
you're
it's obviously just there.
Okay, I'm going to stop the broadcast. That's right.
We'll just keep it going. And
Yeah.
then at 7:30 you can just start.
Okay. But I don't know who's there because I don't see that you're there.
That's all right.
3 viewers.
3 viewers.
There you go.
Okay, we've got 3 viewers. Hello, 3 viewers. We're just getting organised here. I'll be with you soon.
Perfect.
Yeah, fabulous.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we'll shut that down.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about that.
Yeah.
Right, no.
All right.
We'll just go out.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon. I'm going to sit in front of it.
At the end, I'll come in and just thank everyone and remind them to do the thing.
Yeah.
So you don't hear yourself echoing down the hall.
Oh, that would be annoying.
Yeah, that will be right.
You've got one.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 viewers. So it's
Alright.
me and someone else at the moment. You and someone else. I'll wait a few minutes, then I'll start. Hello everyone, it's just gone 7:30, so we may as well get underway. And welcome to this exciting trial of the inaugural Pocket Guru. I'm very excited to be broadcasting to you and being part of what Tom and Lindsay are up to. My job today is to give you a brief introduction to mindfulness, and so we can trial the product, and hopefully you'll get something out of the mindfulness talk as well. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Katrina Kidson, and I've kind of had a split personality for the last decade or so of having a strong interest in yoga and philosophy and mindfulness, and also a high-powered corporate career as well with job titles like managing director and chief executive and those sort of things. And now I'm bringing both of them together and starting to teach mindfulness and business in a more mindful way. So what we're going to do today is really, the goals today is just to give you a broad understanding of mindfulness and also to look at some tools and techniques that you might want to adopt in your everyday life. And hopefully these things with mindfulness will lead to a healthier and happier you. There's a lot of research around the benefits of mindfulness, and they really cover most parts of life, from reduce stress, improve memory, improve relationships, less emotional reactivity. So there's many different things that you might start noticing if you start to incorporate a little bit of mindfulness into your everyday. So really the first question is, well, what is mindfulness? And I've got a few definitions about that because I think it's an interesting thing to start to understand exactly what is mindfulness. I've been following the teachings of a Zen master, and he says that mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and alive, body and mind united. Mindfulness is the energy that helps us to know what is going on in the present moment. So mindfulness is being fully present and alive, body and mind united. Mindfulness is the energy that helps us to know what is going on in the present moment. So that's kind of one definition. Another definition of mindfulness that I quite like is this image of a tree on a really windy day, and you know, right out on the furthest tips of the branch of the tree on a windy day, you're getting buffeted around quite a lot, and it's quite an uncomfortable place to be if you were out there. But if you're able to come back into the trunk of the tree, you can still experience the storm, and you know the storm's happening, but it's a far more sort of solid and stable place to be observing what's going on and reacting to the world. So that's kind of another definition, and I quite like that image. For me, I'm quite a visual person, of using my mindfulness to bring me back into that stillness in the tree trunk. Another thing about mindfulness is always the mindfulness of something. So, you know, it can be the mindfulness of walking or standing or eating, or even mindfulness of watching TV. I'm, you know, very aware that I'm watching TV now and what's happening. Very aware of typing this email and very aware of the work that I'm doing. So it's, you know, it's always mindfulness of something. It doesn't sort of exist in isolation. So that was the first part, like a very broad brush introduction to mindfulness, and it can be one of those things that's hard to describe and better to experience. So easier to understand once you've started to experience it yourself. So just looking at some things we might do with how to practice mindfulness. And mindfulness of the breath is what is often taught at the beginning, and that's for a couple of reasons. That our breath is always with us, and it's a very simple practice. You don't need to buy anything or do anything or remember to carry anything with you. You've always got your breath with you, and it's a great way to establish a strong mindfulness practice. So we're going to do a little experiment, if you're happy, and we'll go through just experiencing what mindfulness of the breath is like. And if any of you are overachievers like I am, I found it quite interesting when I started to practice mindfulness and meditation. It's not something that you can try and do. It's more about allowing something to happen. It's not an act of doing, it's a state of being. I've heard someone describe it before like it's like going to sleep. It's not something that if you try harder and harder, you can actually do. It's better just to relax into it and allow the process of falling asleep to happen. So as mindfulness is, what we'll do now is a short experiment with this. So if you're at home, it's easier to sit sit upright and to experience this. You can also always do this lying down. You can do it in any position if you want, but if you're learning, it's quite often to sit reasonably upright in a position that's both relaxed and alert and feeling quite relaxed. You might want to gently close your eyes. And just remember, the most basic thing we're going to do is notice. And knowing what is happening in the present moment. It's simple. Before you have any ideas about getting concentrated or being peaceful or making something happen, it's all about just noticing. So you might take a moment just now to notice how you are. What is going on for you? What's your immediate experience? Here and now. And as you're just starting to pay attention to the here and now, how easy is it to stay here? Have you got some ideas running about how this is supposed to be and what you're supposed to do or what's supposed to happen? Are you trying to accomplish anything? All you need to do is just to be here and notice what is happening for you right now. And quite often, to settle into the present moment, it's a good idea to have some deep breaths. So you might want to breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, just allow your body to relax. And how deeply, and letting go of whatever tension you can easily let go of. And just allowing now your breath to return to normal. Not making any special effort to breathe or using any special technique. Just letting your breath do what it wants to do and noticing. And just being aware of your body and allowing any part of your body where you're carrying tension to relax. So some places that it's very common are the little muscles around your eyes, your jaw. Can you feel your jaw and your forehead relaxing and your face, all the muscles in your face relaxing? And how are your shoulders? Are they nice and relaxed? And don't try too hard and just allow what is there to happen. And now, as you're aware of your body, become aware of your breath within your body. How is it that you know that you're breathing? How is it you know that this is an in-breath and this is an out-breath? How does that feel in your body? And perhaps you can feel the breath at the tip of your nose, the air moving in and out of your nose. Perhaps you can feel your breath in your lungs and the ribs expanding and contracting. And perhaps it's very obvious to you, you can feel it in your abdomen. Expanding and contracting. Just being aware of your body and where you can feel your breath in your body. And calling this place your home base. And if thoughts arise, just notice the thoughts and come back to your breathing. Just let the thoughts go and come back to your breath. And some people like to follow the breath and say, this is the in-breath, this is the out-breath, or in and out, or rising and falling. Some people like to count their breath. So just sit with your breath for a few breaths, just feeling how it is, just noticing, is it fast or slow, deep or shallow? Just experiencing your breath. And just as it's nice to take a couple of deep breaths to start, some people like to take a couple of deep breaths to finish. Just to be coming back into the room. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes again. So that is an experience of a breath meditation. So following your breath. So that was for a short. We did about 7 minutes. And if that's your first meditation, it's quite normal to have a busy mind and for the mind to be wandering. That's fine. It's totally fine. When those thoughts arise, you just notice the thoughts and come back to your breath. So I've got a couple of ideas about how you might want to integrate mindfulness into your everyday, if that's something that you're interested in doing. And that there's just broadly 2 categories that I'm going to talk about today. And one is the power of the pause. And the second is a breath meditation, similar to what we've just done. So the power of the pause is to, throughout the day, stop and have 3 breaths where you're following your breath, full in and out breath for 3 breaths. And when you do this, you can choose a number of different ways that you can do this. So you can choose things that remind you. So it might be that you decide that when you get into your car to drive to work or drive home, or that you're going to sit and take 3 breaths before you start the car, if you remember. Some people, one class I was teaching, one woman said, oh, I'm going to do this when I go and turn the kettle on when I'm at work and I'm standing in the kitchen on my own, and I'm just going to stand there and have 3 breaths. And she found that process really useful. Some people use sounds to remind them whenever they hear a ringing phone, or a bell is really common. Or some people do it before they walk through a doorway, or a certain location. So you might want to find something that reminds you to take 3 breaths, and just as a really simple practice, incorporate something that's 3 breaths during your day. And then the second is a breath meditation, and to sit with a regular practice of just sitting and following your breath and being aware of your breath. And as you're starting out, this could be as short as 2 minutes, just setting a timer on your phone for 2 minutes. Or so you might want to start with 20 minutes. So for beginners, somewhere between 2 and 20 minutes is a good place to start. And what is really useful and supportive of a practice like this is picking a time and a place that you're going to do it. So I know I'm going to do it as soon as I get up in the morning, or I'm going to do it before I brush my teeth and leave the house, or so you're locking it into your everyday activity. So if you can decide when and where you're going to do it, somewhere where you're not interrupted, and decide how long you're going to do it, that's a good practice. The other thing that's useful to think about is I often use this practice when I'm waiting, and shifting the idea of waiting at traffic lights or waiting at the doctor's surgery from time that you're getting annoyed because you're being held up, to seeing it as an opportunity to practice mindfulness. So that is all I have to tell you. And I really hope you've enjoyed what we've been through today. So a short introduction to what mindfulness is, a short mindfulness of the breath practice, and those 2 ideas of how you can integrate it into your everyday, of choosing a thing, a pause activity to do, or a regular breath practice. And if you're interested in learning more, in July, I'll be starting some 4-week mindfulness courses, which will be a similar sort of thing, but a little bit longer, maybe for an hour, and running for 4 weeks. So if you're interested in that, I'd love to hear from you. You can find my webpage online, Katrina Kidson, and I'll be more than happy to send you an invite out when those dates and times and places are sorted out. So I hope you've really enjoyed what we've done with a little trial, and I hope it's gone really well for Tom and Lindsay as well. I think Tom wants to come in and say hello, so I'll just get him so he can come and say hello to you all.
Thank you. That's great. Hello, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that presentation by Katrina. It was really good, actually. Not that I'm surprised, but so if you could now go onto the email that I've sent you and fill out the questionnaire, just email that back to me whenever you get a chance, and have yourselves a great evening. Did you want to say anything else?
No, I'm done. Thank you
All
very much.
right. Thanks, everyone, for logging in and joining the broadcast. Have a good night.